Hey, welcome back to JB Breaks Free. I hope you're having a great day, a blessed day, and getting 1% better than yesterday, and breaking free from anything that's holding you back from having the best day ever and becoming the best version of yourself. And I'm so glad that I'm on this journey and stringing together great days, turning them into great weeks, great months, and great years, and trying to improve upon myself in the process. And I know you guys are too. Let me know how you're doing. Like, share, subscribe the video. I always forget to say that, so I'm glad I got that out today. Before I get into today's topics, which are going to be about breaking free from immaturity, took me a little while to figure that one out. And that kind of tied into what lessons would I wish I was mature enough to know in my 20s before I got to my 30s and early 40s. And also a little bit about having the right attitude. But before I get into all those topics, I did get out there. I made $40 doing some Instacart shops this morning. I'm at $75 for the week. Did you guys have a snowstorm? I got snowed out yesterday. The kids had a snow day. There was no delivering to be had. So I got a little setback on that. I, however, did get out and snow blowed some houses this morning, and this woman pays me for taking care of her all winter. She gave me a few bucks this morning, which is gratefully needed because I've been having a few short weeks waiting tables. So getting money from my side hustles is keeping me afloat and keeping me free. I also stopped into thrift store. This right here, Tommy Bahama shirt, $5. I think I can get 10 to 15 for it. Tommy Bahama. Once I saw the tag, I'm like, all right. And, you might think, oh, what's $10? It's not worth my time. But if you do that every day, do it 5 days a week, that's $50 extra a week. That adds up. That adds up. And, you throw that on top of your Instacart and everything else, or any other side hustles that you choose. And I just look at it as supercharging my money, okay? I throw 15 in, and I loved going in there and finding it. I got to put it in an envelope, or not an envelope, but like a little baggie that you send out. That's probably, 40 cents, and you just make your money. I call it supercharging my money. And that's helped me to become debt-free and stay debt-free. So pretty happy about that. I did start eating a little bit better after all the birthday festivities have been done. I weighed in yesterday at 190 pounds, 0.1. I thought I did pretty good yesterday. I had decaf coffee at 9 a.m. At noon, I had half a thin steak, half a salmon with Brussels sprouts. 2 p.m., I had a sip of my kids' hot chocolate when they came in from playing out in the snow. 5:30 was dinner, chicken, broccoli, and sweet potato French fries with just a little bit of seasoning on there. And I know sweet potatoes can be a good source of carbohydrates for you. Here's where I start to fall apart. 8:30. My snack was salmon and Brussels sprouts. It's a lot better than it usually is. And then 10:15, peanut butter layered on a banana. And okay, so I woke up 190.4. I dieted and gained 0.3 of a pound. I did drink 60 ounces of water yesterday. And this guy right here, this fills up 40 ounces. I filled it halfway 3 times. My wife was saying that if you drink a lot of water, perhaps that can make you gain weight initially, but over time, that's going to flush your system and actually make you lose weight. So that's what I'm banking on. Today I woke up at 7:45-ish, had decaf coffee. 12:45, I screwed up. I was out doing my side hustles, blah, blah, blah. I was coming home. I'm starving. I got to learn to bring snacks. I bought some beef jerky, which was A, expensive, and B, whatever, it wasn't that good. I do that maybe once every 6 months. I'll cave to some beef jerky. At 1 o'clock, I had my lunch, half a cup of chili, which was basically tomato sauce, beans, little ground beef, peppers in there. And I had about 5 ounces of shaved steak. The other day we made kind of like Philly cheesesteaks, that shave type steak consistency. I had no roll with it today. Just like a handful of that with peppers and onions. That should get me to dinner. I mean, not a lot of carbs there. I had the TV paused, and it goes off. But so that's where I'm at, and I'm hoping I worked out yesterday. I did some lifting with my dumbbells. I did some cardio on that little trampoline thing in the back there, which I would highly recommend doing some cardio on, and doing okay. But let's get into the main topics of today. 10 signs that you are mature, that you've broken free from immaturity. Number 1, you are responsible for your own happiness, not your partner, not your kids, not your possessions. And I love to remind myself of that, and I love to talk about it on this channel. I know some people who depend on their partner for their happiness, and let me tell you, when things go wrong, their happiness is long gone. Your kids, I guess some people would rely on that for their happiness. No, I mean, they make me happier than anything in the world, but I can be happy in other ways. And your possessions, how often do we talk about that? Break free from the material possessions. You are responsible for your happiness, not your possessions. Number 2, you realize that you are not responsible for other people's expectations. Keyword, other people. You are not responsible for their expectations of you. You can't control that, so kiss it goodbye. You are not responsible for that. Number 3, you let people win arguments to preserve your energy. With anything. Just let it go. Who cares if you win an argument with your neighbor, friend, family member, random person? Doesn't matter. Number 4, you have an option. You don't have to have an opinion on everything because you don't know everything. I love that Socrates said, I know nothing. He was considered the wisest man in the world. And what did he say? I know nothing, and that's why he was wise. You don't have to have an opinion on every single thing. You don't have to watch everything, every piece of news, read every article, watch every show, read every, it's just let it go. Let it go. Number 5, you don't need to be liked by everyone. It's not high school. Who cares? Keep your circle tight. Keep it deep. You don't want to be wide and shallow like a rain puddle. No, you want to be deep and narrow like a well, not like a rain puddle. Number 6, you know other people can't read your mind, so you get better at communicating your ideas. And I think the key word there is communicating with your friends, with your partner, people at work. They can't read your mind, so, don't be afraid to speak up and let people know how you feel. Number 7, you don't need the approval of others, just yourself. Again, you cannot control if other people give you their approval. It's uncontrollable. So the only thing you can work on is what you do, how you act, how you present yourself, hopefully in a way that would gain somebody's approval. But again, you can't control how they respond to what you do. Number 8, you learn from the past. You plan for the future, and you live in the present. And I like that. We learn from the past. We don't live in the past. We don't linger in the past. We plan for the future. We don't dread the future. We don't fear it. We don't live in it. In 5 days from now, it's going to be the weekend, and I can't wait. It's only Mondays. Forget about this. Forget about the next few days. I'll be happy when I retire. I hear a lot of people, and I wish I had a pension job, but a lot of people say 7.5 more years, but who's counting? You don't know what's going to happen. Live in the present. Plan for the future and learn from the past. Number 9, you don't need to react to everything because everything doesn't deserve your attention. Again, just let things go. Curate what you consume. The news. I think people arguing on social media, Twitter, Facebook, I see it all the time. You're majoring in minor things at that point. Focus on the big stuff. What deserves your attention? Bettering yourself, something that can teach you, something that you care about. Not every little thing. You don't have to react. And when you're not reacting, you're going to have a more peaceful, calm, stress-free existence. And that's the way we should be. And finally, number 10, you acknowledge your thoughts and you let them go. Today, when I was out snowballing, my mind got racing a little bit. The thoughts got going. The monkey mind was hopping back and forth, justifying this, justifying that. I had to stop and say, no, stop. You're even aware of your thoughts, and your thoughts are not you. Just a little tiny, not everything going on here, just a little tiny, and they can just go. Okay, they're gone. So acknowledge your thoughts, and you can let them go, and that becomes easier. Like lifting weights, every time you do that, it's a rep. Eventually, we have 10, 15 pounders, 20. I'll be jacking up 30, 40 pounders here very soon, and that's just getting those unwanted thoughts, the thought loop, out of here. That's not you. That's just a movie going on in your head, because right now everything is good. So those are some signs that you broke free from immaturity, 10 signs that you are mature, and these are some things that I wish I was mature enough to learn in my 20s, that I had to learn the hard way, but better late than never. Okay, so 13 life lessons I wish I knew in my 20s. Man, if I could go back, my goodness gracious. But that's impossible. I've learned my lessons. Thankfully, I've learned everything on this list. I will teach my kids a little bit earlier, and maybe someone will stumble across this page, or maybe someone will hear this and tell somebody younger, and we can pass the message of freedom on to those who are on their way up. But I've always been kind of a late bloomer, and that tradition continues. But I'll start with number 1, the power of compound interest. To save as early as possible, to invest as early as possible. I see all these things. You invest X amount of dollars at 18 until you retire at a certain age, and it will be a ton of money. And just compound interest. It just grows and grows and grows and keeps going. And I'm trying to explain that to my kids. And I got it working for me now, and I still got a ways to go, so that's a good thing. But boy, if I only would have known about financial independence and the power of compound interest. I knew of some interest, like you earn a couple pennies, in the bank every year, which is basically what your money is doing. I remember that lesson a little bit, and it never really stuck. But boy, I wish I knew the power and the magic of compound interest. Pass that message along. Number 2, to take action, and to take action immediately. Don't wait for perfection. Swing, miss, learn, try again. I probably waited way too long to take action in my life. I pushed a lot of things off at that time. I was not ready to take action, and I wish I did on many different things. Especially number 3, to take care of your health early. A lot of partying in my 20s, a lot of smoking cigs, not a lot of exercising, not a lot of stretching, probably doing things to my body physically, which I might be paying for a little bit now. Certain activities, just sports related. I should have been more health conscious, and certainly with smoking. Number 4, make every moment count. I wasted a lot of moments. The moments that I wasted hungover, I probably can't even imagine. And I think that's why I thank God, at least at this point, that I've been through that, and I refuse to waste many more. Let's put it that way. I actually saw an old Facebook status from many years ago. It was a St. Patrick's Day party around this time, and it was, from the next morning, it just said, "I'm in pain." Man, who likes to wake up in pain? It's hard enough to wake up in, physical pain, let alone a self-inflicted hangover. So, no, I'm not losing too many more moments to being hungover, that's for sure. So make every moment count. Number 5, you choose your life. It's your decision. It's your responsibility of the direction that it will take. And I had no direction at the time. I wasn't mature enough to have set my course. I was just I was just being dragged along by the tide. And I think there's a Stoic quote that says, like, time passes, you got to go with it like a current. And if I'm trying to hold on maybe to the past or something back there, you're just going to get dragged around anyways. And maybe I was getting dragged around by time with no direction, with no sail set high, and that hurt for a while. But I did settle on a direction in my life. I just wish I knew it sooner, and I hope that the younger people out there nowadays will figure out what they want to do sooner, because I think it makes a huge difference. And number 6 is develop good habits, day in and day out. And by that means get rid of the bad habits, get rid of the smoking, get rid of eating the junk food. I've always had a sweet tooth. I didn't work out as much, didn't read as much. Probably wasn't as hard a worker as I could have been, should have been. Develop those good habits in your 20s as early as you can. Number 7, appreciate the process, the journey. It takes time. The 1% gains that we always talk about on this channel that I really didn't know about back then. Now I can appreciate the journey of trying to become the best version of myself. I can appreciate that it is a journey, that it is a process to become debt-free, to stay debt-free. It's a journey, and it's a process to become a more positive person, a more grateful person, better at your profession. Appreciate that process. If you don't appreciate the process, if you don't enjoy it, then you're not having the best day ever, or the best week ever, or the best month or best year ever. Those things are going to take a little bit of time. They're going to have some ups and downs. You're going to learn some lessons on the way. You're going to swing and miss, and then you're going to get back up to bat again and try. And it's all about the process. It's not about the destination in anything. Tomorrow, there's always another day to have the best day ever tomorrow. And tomorrow's another day that we can improve upon ourselves. And tomorrow's another day where we can do whatever we can do to bring more freedom into our lives during that day and planning into the future. Number 8 is to choose kindness at all times. In a world of negativity, to be different. I'm not saying I was the perfect, kindest person. I always tried to be mostly kind, but I have not been kind in every situation. And I probably wasn't mature enough to understand that. And, it's different now. Now I do my best because I'm more aware of it and more mature to be kind in a negative world. Number 9, to choose an honorable life, to respect myself and to act in a way that others might want to respect me. I can't control if they do, but I can live an honorable life. I can work on myself. I can get up every day and go to work, and if I have the day off, I can still do positive things. And living in that way, I can respect myself. I can be proud of what I'm doing. I can hold my head up high when I walk into a room or into a store or see this person or that person. Hopefully I'm living in a way where I'm proud of it and other people can sense that I'm trying to do my best also. Number 10 is to develop courage, to do things even if you feel afraid. I don't know what I was afraid of in my 20s, but I always like to say courage is clarity. To take on life head on, soberly, alertly, awarely. To stand up tall, shoulders back, like Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, number 1. I don't know if I had a lot of courage. I don't know if I was scared of what the future might bring, and that I didn't prepare myself enough in my past. But to develop that courage to make the positive changes. It's not easy to give up your crutch of a cig or a beer or drugs or food, or to get up out of your comfort zone, off the couch playing video games and Netflix, to get out there and have the courage to better yourself, and not only that, to hopefully to inspire others. So hopefully I took it even another step further. Number 11, to play well with others, to be on a team, whether that's with your friends, your partner, At work, I used to, if I felt disrespected, I would come right back at that person and chirp, chirp. And it would always be friction because I couldn't stand not reacting to it because I had to have an opinion on it. And Marcus Aurelius said, you don't have to turn this into a thing, just let it go. And to be kind, I could have been kinder too and not escalated certain things. And, that could be with my friends and also, as a partner. Like I could have just been more of a good teammate. So I've become mature enough now to realize that. Number 12, self-care habits. Not only take care of your body, but also your mind. I wish I knew about meditation. Wish I knew about even just breathing, being present, philosophy, reading, going for walks, getting good night rest. I couldn't even sleep in my 20s. And I would sleep too late. I wouldn't eat right. Self-care habits. Wish I was mature enough to know. I'm trying to work on it now. And finally, number 13, to never stop learning. I've been out of school 25 years since high school. Our reunion's this summer. And I try to learn something new every day now. Multiple things about multiple different subjects. And I think maybe once high school ended, I just okay, what's next? I didn't know what I wanted to learn. I needed to learn about life, number one. But I didn't have that strong enough desire to never stop learning, to try to learn as much about everything that was going on then and everything that might be going on in the future. And just learning how to be a better person and happier person and learning finances and learning how to be better at my job or even what job I wanted to do. I kind of just stumbled into the job, thankfully. I thank God every day that I stumbled into the job that I did. And it has its own pros and cons, but things are good. Things are good. But never stop learning. I have that now, and I wish I never lost touch with it after high school. Maybe I should have learned more in high school as it was anyways, but everything happens for a reason. And the last thing I want to talk about today is about attitude. Okay, so talking about attitude. Your attitude determines your altitude. This is your attitude. Bad attitude, your altitude's going down. Attitude, great attitude. Positive attitude, hardworking, your altitude's going up. Attitude, not aptitude, is going to determine your success. So it doesn't necessarily mean how smart you are. It's about how are you going to approach any job or task. And I think about the jobs and tasks that I've had in my life. Wine service. It was probably a year. I couldn't even open wine when I started being a waiter. I would pay the bartender $5 to open it for me. I would be scared. I guess I would be too lazy to learn. And I eventually grew into just a machine of selling wine. And opening wine, first of all. And then selling wine because, of course, I didn't sell enough wine. So what had to happen? I had to prove myself that I could. And I sold a ton. And then that conversation of not selling enough wine stopped. What's your right attitude about upcharges at work? The higher the bill, the more percentage we're going to get. And really pushing that. And I do. And pushing it in a respectful way, in a way that works and not being overbearing. And school, I just didn't have the right attitude for way too long. High school, even early college. But then, boom, I get a little bit bigger, a little bit older, a little bit more mature. Have developed a little bit better attitude, and I'm all A's. Where was this? When high school it was 1 chapter test, in college it's 3 chapters and 10 times harder. And to become debt free, there was a time I didn't really care. I didn't even know. And then you put your head down, get a positive attitude, and instead of your finances going down like this, they start to go up like this when you start gaining control of your money, and you get back to that baseline of here's debt, no debt. having some wealth, it's your attitude is going to determine your altitude. Your attitude on how you look at the day, the effort that you put into it, the effort that you put into being happy and grateful and mindful, and the attitude you put towards becoming free from anything that's holding you back from becoming the best version of yourself and having the best day ever. We don't have to be, it's attitude, not aptitude. Just put in the right effort, want it, work at it. It's not going to happen just like that. You're going to have to work at it. Gratitude, everything. And you will start having the best day ever if you want it. So today, break free towards having the best day ever and becoming the best version of yourself. I'll talk to you on the next video.